Lil Durk was just a teenager when he began making a name for himself by releasing mixtapes. The rapper is famous for his notoriety, just as he is for his ability on the microphone. The Chicago native has taken on both the dead and undead. Keep watching to see the 7 MCs Lil Durk has disrespected in the game. But before we continue, don't forget to like and share this video. Also, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. With that out of the way, let's continue. Lil Durk's troubled past. Lil Durk has navigated the music industry, riding through a road of success paved with contradictions. The Chicago rapper is somewhat of a contradiction himself. Not content with becoming one of Atlanta's rising rap stars, Durk has emerged as one of the loudest activists for reducing violence in Chicago, featuring in a documentary on the subject at just 21 years old. Everyone who knows Durk's childhood knows the man had it pretty rough growing up in Chicago City. He had to shoulder responsibility at a very young age, as his father was jailed when he was just 7 years old. Dante Banks Sr. had been serving 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole, with no disclosed details. In an interview with the magazine, Lil Durk recalled that there was not even enough food in their home when he was young. The violent neighborhood in which he was brought up had a deep impact on Lil Durk. As a teenager, he went behind bars briefly on charges of possessing weapons. Lil Durk has always been the hothead, judging from his numerous cases with the law. In 2011, Banks was arrested on a weapon charge and sentenced to 3 months in jail. He was later released on bond, only to be sent back to serve 87 more days. 2 years later, Durk was arrested again after allegedly throwing a loaded .40 caliber handgun into his car when police approached him on South Green Street in Chicago. He was charged with unlawful use of a weapon by a felon. He was held on a $100,000 bond, and his lawyer would claim to have 9 affidavits from witnesses who confirmed Durk's innocence. One witness also admitted the gun was his. Banks was released on July 18, 2013. In 2014, his house was searched because someone convicted of second-degree murder charged him with having guns. On September 4, 2015, hours before a scheduled concert performance at the Theater of Living Arts in Center City, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a shootout occurred, leaving Durk's tour bus damaged by gunfire. On August 19, 2016, he was cleared of disregarding probation when he was arrested on felony gun charges. The judge dropped the charges. Here's the thing, with rappers like Lil Durk, you not only get continuous run-in with the law enforcement agencies, you are sure of never-ending beefs with other rappers. Lil Durk is never short of beefs. In 2011, Durk Banks would start taking music seriously. After plans to sign with Chief Keef and French Montana's labels didn't fall through, he considered rapping as a full-time career after the release of his 2 singles, Sneak Dissin' and I'm a Hitter, and he hasn't looked back. Chief Keef. Lil Durk and Chief Keef started out as friends. Keef, whose real name is Keith Cozart, and Lil Durk were in street gangs. Both were certainly regionally popular beforehand, but Durk does owe at least some of his popularity to the heightened awareness of drill music that Keef, King Louie, Chop, and Kanye created. After signing, respectively, with Universal Music's sister labels, Def Jam Recordings and Interscope Records, problems between Durk and his friend's label, Glow Gang, began to develop in late 2012. After a Twitter exchange, he cut himself loose from Keef's record label. Lil Durk and Chief Keef have had choice words with each other since summer 2013. Their differences stemmed from Sosa's refusal to post Durk's $10,000 bail after the OTF rapper was jailed on a weapon charge. Durk appeared to have addressed his beef with Sosa in his feature on Meek Mill's Chirac remix. Durk raps, "Say me and Sosa beefing, but we both eating, but only one keeping. Told Law he takes 15 years, every crime we did, we gon' keep it a secret." Lil Durk has also said to be pissed when Chief Keef tweeted a link to another rapper's song critical of Lil Durk. In 2015, Durk said he's done fighting with other rappers, including Chief Keef. "Me and him talked on the phone for like 3 hours, and man, we put that in the past," the Inglewood rapper tells Rolling Stone, adding that the once warring performers worked in the studio recording 3 or 4 songs. "We're gonna have more." The Game. Back in May 2014, Tyga dropped his Lil Durk diss song, Chirac to LA, but it was the song's co-star, Game, who had the standout verse. The Game took aim at the Chicago rapper and humorously confused him with the NBA All-Star, Dirk Nowitzki. Tyga hit me like, "Durk dissin'. Dirk Nowitzki? Durk who?" Game rapped on the track. The Game spoke on how the beef kicked off during his Power 105, The Breakfast Club interview. "I was looking out for Tyga," he said. "He called me. I never even heard of Durk before that. I just went in on somebody I ain't know. People don't really want to beef with me. If it gets real, then it's a problem." The West Coast rapper then gave us a behind-the-scenes scoop on his confrontation with Lil Durk in LA. He was in LA at Rick Ross' party, and we found him, Game said. We went to him. I saw Durk, and he was a little guy, man. He was cool, man. It just went away. Most of the time when I see dudes in real life, physically it's unmatched. Durk took to Twitter after hearing news of Game's comments. He found me, LOL, what the f. LA leakers caught up with Lil Durk in summer 2014 for the gist behind the club confrontation between himself and Game during the weekend of the 2014 BET Awards. The whole club scene was just like a standoff, Durk said. I'm holding my ground. They like, I'm holding my ground too. Where I'm from, we don't run. Especially for us being in another city on the come up. Can't let nobody do that to us. Tyga. Tyga doesn't really care for rap beefs, but he wasn't gonna let Lil Durk's diss slide like that. Meek Mill, Shy Glizzy, and Durk released a track using Nicki Minaj and Lil Herb's dark and bassy Chirac beat. Over the murderous instrumental, Durk aimed and took a few shots at the Young Money rapper, spitting, "Heard Tyga sneak dissing on me. Tell them bitches I'm not right. Tyga only got one name, but that nigga ain't got one stripe." The following day, Tyga jumped on Instagram and dropped a 15-second snippet of his response. "Who the f is Lil Durk? I dust you like Ash and Perk." He rhymes over the same Chirac beat. Durk swiftly replied, sending shots on Twitter. Every time a rap beef, he gets clapped up in a couple weeks. IG comments and a couple tweets, location on, we can go and meet. Hashtag Chirac. According to Durk, the beef started after Tyga previewed a song that Durk recorded with Chris Brown and French Montana titled Get That Money. On the track, Durk spits a line about Tyga's Lady Black China, a line that Tyga wasn't happy about, so he asked Durk to change it. The Chicago rapper says he agreed to make the change only if Tyga did a collaboration with him, a condition Tyga accepted. Durk, however, began to get annoyed after the Rack City rapper stopped returning his text messages about their promised collaboration. Tekashi 6ix9ine. 2 years ago, Durk had some choice words for 6ix9ine after the rapper testified in the trial of 2 9 Trey Gangsta Blood members. Going on his Twitter account, hours after Tekashi testified at Manhattan's Thurgood Marshall U.S. Courthouse, the Chicago rapper didn't hold guard about how he felt about the rapper's testimony. 6ix9ine, Snitch K, he wrote in a now deleted tweet. On his collaboration with Drake in 2020, Durk raps, "I'm in the trenches, relax. Can you not play that little boy in the club? Cause we do not listen to rats." A subliminal shot at Tekashi for cooperating with the authorities. A year later, it was revealed that Lil Durk's new album, The Voice, was projected to push 55,000 equivalent album sales in its first week. The announcement of the news on an Instagram blog gave Tekashi the opportunity to fire back at the Chicago rapper. Use Von name for sales, 6ix9ine wrote about Durk on Instagram. Is not blackballed, has all industry support. 55K and his man were caught in 4K. Hashtag King Von, rest in piss. FBG Duck and Quando Rondo. Lil Durk and Lil Baby's joint album, The Voice of the Heroes, dropped in December 2020. A snippet of a track off the project circulated online, and people think Durkio is dissing both the living and dead. Durk's verse from Still Running with Lil Baby, also featuring Meek Mill, made the rounds on social media. It wasn't long before people on social media began dissecting the lyrics, claiming that Durk took a swipe at deceased Chicago rappers FBG Duck and Quando Rondo. FBG Duck was shot and killed in broad daylight while shopping on Michigan Avenue. Duck was struck by gunfire after several guys got out of cars and began shooting at the people on the sidewalk. Prior to Duck's passing, he had issues with the late King Von, a close friend of Durk. For the supposed Duck line, Lil Durk rhymes, "The moment he ran, he knew he ain't ducking, his ass out of luck." For Quando Rondo, he spits, "That rose better be bulletproof, lil nigga. You know we gon' shoot at them stars." Durk could possibly be referring to the interview Quando did with radio personality Angela Yee while riding around in a Rolls Royce. During the conversation, he spoke about the night King Von was killed. King Von was one of 3 people killed outside of an Atlanta nightclub on Friday morning. The shooting, which involved police officers, reportedly left the Chicago MC in critical condition before he eventually succumbed to his injuries. Shortly after Von started rapping, Lil Durk took him under his wing, signed him to his Only the Family label, and helped to mold him as an artist. King Von and Quando Rondo had beef of their own. King Von was signed with Lil Durk, and Quando signed with NBA Youngboy. Because they were so close to these more experienced rappers, it's possible that the beef between King Von and Quando Rondo was actually tied to their relationships with Lil Durk and NBA Youngboy. Lil Jojo. Even the dead is not spared from Lil Durk's acidic bars. The Laugh Now Cry Later rapper took a shot at now late rapper Lil Jojo. On his track, This Ain't What You Want, he raps, "Claim 300, at a K you done." This line is an apparent reference to slain 16-year-old Chicago rapper Lil Jojo, who released a diss towards Durk titled 300K. Before he passed away, Jojo was embroiled in a feud with Durk, as well as his real associates, Chief Keef and Lil Reese. The genesis of the feud is unknown. Chief Keef became the target of a police investigation following Jojo's death last year after he tweeted, "It's sad, cause that Jojo wanted to be just like us. Hashtag laugh my." That brings us to the end of today's video. If you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment below. Also, if you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload new content.